Any young protester in Nigeria today learn from you because you were the father of protest in Nigeria. Do something about it. Give them the freedom. You taught us, you funded us to stand up and fight. So they are your children and your grandchildren. Give them the pardon. Thank you and God bless.
So, who Senator Shehu Sani is, he actually said a lot. He's a playwright, by the way. He was a senator in the Nigerian Senate. He was actually one of those vocal voices you hear um, of on the news when talking about injustice in Nigeria, talking about fighting for human rights activism in Nigeria. You understand? Um, Senator Shehu Sani is someone that's well respected, I believe, in the community of human rights activists, and someone that is actually played a pivotal role in fighting for human rights justice in Nigeria. And I actually was, should I say, miffed or baffled? Him addressing President Tinubu, this was, I believe, the 25th anniversary of democracy or so. And he actually stood there and said everything I wanted to hear from a true Nigerian. You understand? He was very eloquent. He said a lot about the injustices in the system. He said a lot about expectations from what we expect from President Tinubu. He said a lot about the NSAS protest. He said a lot about Tinubu being the father of activism in Nigeria, which is a shame because I think, for me, President Tinubu, well, I respect him a lot, you understand, was actually one of the forerunners of protests in Nigeria. And one of the frontrunners like Ganifa Awoyemi, the likes of Ganifa Awoyemi, they actually fought the cobwebs of corruption, the cobwebs of those that were trying to stifle our democracy in Nigeria. And well, it's a shame. The same President Tinubu, well, is our president today, by the grace of God. We, I'm again, I'm shocked that the same President Tinubu. Well, I don't want to believe. I don't want to. I don't want to. How do I put this now? I don't want to agree that he knows what is happening. I think a lot is being said in the press, a lot is being said in the news, a lot is happening. I believe those around him are actually the one perpetrating these acts of trying to quash the voice of realism in Nigeria. Those trying to those trying to quash or those trying to stifle the voice of activism. Those trying to silence the voice of democracy, of true democracy in Nigeria. Because I still don't believe Tinubu is aware of what is happening. That's well, correct me if I'm wrong. I still don't believe Tinubu is aware of what is happening. Because, well, if he's been briefed, but I think he's been misinformed. If he's been briefed, I think he's been misinformed. Because they're not telling Tinubu the reality of what's on ground in Nigeria. I don't think they're telling the president. Because if presidency is actually doing their work right, I don't think the steps they took towards the censorship of Idris Abdulkarim's song was the right step. Every normal thinking, rational thinking human being would know that what they did actually inflamed the situation. What they did actually made the situation worse. You understand? Now, censoring Abdulkarim's song has actually snowballed into a bigger storm right now. A lot of people are angry. A lot of people are really, really angry that, come on, a song like that which actually highlights the reality of things on ground, is being censored. I've listened to Abdul Karim's song over and over and over again. The lyrics are exactly what is happening on ground. You understand? Is the lyrics are the reality of what is happening on ground. There's nothing wrong with the song. There's nothing wrong with the lyrics. He's not in any way trying to paint Tinubu as whatever the presidency is trying to tell Tinubu. He's not in any way trying to be politically biased in any way. It's not. I think Tinubu needs to listen to the songs himself. He needs to listen to the song himself. You understand? If the aides around him, if his misinformed advisors around him will actually allow him to do that, because I see no reason why that song should be banned. No, there's no reason why the song should be banned. Anyway, let me stop waffling. Let's quickly do some deep dive into this video clip that actually reminded me of the days of Gani Fawahimi in Nigeria, reminded me of the days of President Tinubu himself, which was well respected in the community of activism. You understand? In the community of activists in Nigeria. You understand? But it's a shame we're not seeing a parallel Tinubu, which is parallel with the reality of what's happening in Nigeria. Let's really deep dive into this video. I'll come back to you again.
And one incident that happened
we talk.
Was that the security men tried to shove you away, and today you are the president of this country. Mr. President, you have a duty and a responsibility to succeed as a leader. As a leader who came from the trenches, from the tribes and generations of those who sacrificed their life in the defense of freedom. It is unfortunate that a whole like this, there are specific figures we have missed. We have missed the presence of Chief Gani Fawahimi. We have missed the presence of Dr. Beko Ransom Kuti. We have missed the presence of Alhaji Balarabe Musa. We have missed the presence of Dr. Bala Usman. We have missed the presence of Chima Obani. We have missed the presence of many who sacrificed their life in the defense of democracy. A day like this will not be complete without appreciating the role played by the likes of Colonel Abubakar Dangiwa Umar, the likes of Chief Abraham Adesanya, Alani Akao Boshorun, and the likes of Fred Eno. Mr. President, even though the governor of Kaduna State removed me from the seat, I will always remember that he was one of those who stood for us when we were in prison. He was among those who kept the torch of freedom alive while many of us languished in the cell. Mr. President, I would like to draw your attention to this fact and this truth. The national anthem cannot unite a nation. A national pledge cannot unite a nation. A constitution cannot unite a nation. A nation is united by the ideals of freedom. A nation is united by equity and by justice. Many younger generations of today have not and couldn't know the sacrifice we have made to restore democracy to this country. It is important that we bring to attention to those who were not here in those days of the struggle. This democracy was not a gift given to us by the military. It was not a lottery that we won. It was a product of struggle and sacrifice. There were people who were forced into exile, like the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, and the likes of Wole Soyinka. There were people who were sent to prison, like us. We're supposed to spend the first 15 years of our life in prison, but by the magnanimity of God, we were out. There were many who were dead. This democracy was a product of struggle. The Academic Staff Union of Nigeria made sacrifices. Nigerian media made sacrifices. The NUPENG, headed by the like of Frank Kokori, made sacrifices. The National Association of Nigerian Students made sacrifices. This democracy was a product of that struggle, was a product of that commitment, and was a product of that determination. Mr. President, you have a duty to succeed. If you succeed, you will share your glory because you came from the trenches, you came from that struggle, you come from that period of struggle. Mr. President, if you fail, they will say that those of you who fought for democracy have nothing new to offer to Nigeria. We will pray for you, and we believe that the reforms which you have taken, there is no doubt about it, you too have recognized the untold hardship and the suffering it has inflicted on millions of people. But we are expecting that at the end of the day, it will bear fruit, and people will rejoice and say that the sacrifices that they have made, the consequences of that reforms, was something that was worth all this trouble. Mr. President, thank you for the honor and the privilege, and do something about the Nigerian prisons, because they were the ones who hosted us in those days and in those dark days of the struggle. And in the last call, Mr. President, there are some people who are still in detention as a result of the NSAS protest. They were young people who were protesting for justice, for freedom, and for democracy. Any young protester in Nigeria today learned from you, because you were the father of protest in Nigeria. Do something about it. Give them the freedom. You taught us, you funded us to stand up and fight, so they are your children and your grandchildren. Give them the pardon. Thank you, and God bless.